Good morning, everybody. How are we doing? Happy Monday. It's Monday on the Morning Night Live. And, I was going to bring back Metal Monday, and I thought maybe just for the intro, because it's kind of fun, doing a little Metal Monday. And so I put a little heavy stuff on the beginning. And I just realized I got to make a new outro. I haven't done one for a while, and I just realized I got to thank people who've been here normal, I'm sorry, what am I trying to say? Blah, blah, blah. Hey, you know what I mean?
You know the thing.
Trying to thank the people who've been sponsoring the show like I usually do at the end of the outro. And also, I want to change some things up a little bit. Since my garden is going into full fall mode, it probably should have some stuff that's more fall-like. So maybe we'll dig up some waterfall footage and fall colors and stuff. Speaking of fall colors, oh my gosh, in this part of Minnesota, it's so beautiful right now with all the changing leaves and whatnot. And I took my mother-in-law down to, if you saw my video on Dundas on my other channel on Marty's Big Journey, we went down there and went to one of my favorite breweries down there. And then, on Saturday, I didn't put any video up of this yet, but we went to New Ulm, Minnesota, which has Minnesota's largest Oktoberfest. So New Ulm was a kind of a German settled community back in the 1800s. And a gentleman named August Schell opened a brewery there, I think in 1860. This was even before Minnesota became a state. And that brewery is still there and has some beautiful grounds. And they have this big Oktoberfest celebration down there. And oh my gosh, was it fun. It was just a hoot. Had one giant tent like in the lower grounds where they had live polka bands, and it was hilarious. They were funny and sang funny songs and stuff. And then they had upper grounds where they had a DJ, and then they had this area where you had food, and then there's beer everywhere because it's Oktoberfest, right? Go drink some beer. And they had bratwurst, bratwurst and sauerkraut and stuff like that to serve. And oh my gosh, we just had a great time. Lady Boomer, my mother, and I had a great time down in New Ulm for the day. And then we went to, after it was over, because it ended at like 5. It's a daytime event. And then everyone goes into downtown New Ulm and hangs out in the restaurants and bars and things like that. But we just went down and got some dinner down there. Great time. Fun time. Never been to it. If you're ever in Minnesota, the first 2 weekends, one of the first 2 weekends in October, highly recommend it. Go check out the Oktoberfest in New Ulm. Just a blast. But you may want to find a room in one of the nearby towns that has shuttles to it, because now fortunately we did not drink that much, but boy, there were a lot of people. Enjoyed a lot of beer that day, and they seem to all be getting on the shuttle buses towards Mankato or New Ulm or whatever other town around there. But fun time, holy smokes! So anyway, I hope you all had a good weekend. I'm sure you're excited to hear about mine, and but we got to get into the news because as one of those heroes, remember the heroes when this whole stupid 19 nonsense hit America, there were some of us who were labeled as heroes, the people who kept the things going that had to keep going. Me being a UPSer, we were heroes because we were, people who wouldn't leave their homes. We could get them their packages and whatnot. And they were buying shit from Amazon and eBay and everywhere else in the whole thing. And the pilots and the nurses and all the people just kept your life going. We were all heroes, right? We were heroes. And now, apparently, our hero cards apparently are getting tarnished by, certain actions that the Joe Biden administration, wants to mandate on some of us. And some of us are like, why would you do something that's not 100% necessary? And I think you know what I mean. Anyway, we'll get into that and more after the intro. Johnny, play the intro. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, Dawg Knight. All right, stop the music. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as Dawg Knight on the internet. And welcome to the Dawg Knight Channel. It is Monday, the 11th of October, 2021. And I'm so happy that you're here. In fact, let's say hi to the people here and get that going, and then we'll just kind of get into the news. By the way, during the show, if you like what we do, hit the like button, share, all that stuff that, you know, all the other YouTubes tell you to do. And if you want to sponsor the show, you can watch the show on PDawgKnight.live. That's another, just hit that link and you can watch the show. You can chat in the chat, and you can sponsor the show up in the upper right-hand corner. Or if you want to use YouTube SuperChats, you can do that too. Just beware, you're giving Susan 15 or 30%. You're giving Susan 30% if you go on YouTube SuperChats, but sometimes that's just more convenient for people. I don't care which way you do it. If you want to sponsor the show, I am more than happy to be thankful and shut my big fat mouth. So there you go. Anyway, let's say good morning, everybody. First, the chat today is Black Hebrew Israelite.
That's right.
Thank you, sir, for being here. We appreciate you being Johnny on the spot when it comes to watching those notifications this morning. Also, good morning, Mike Savage, Blarg. Also, good morning to Somnambule Nation, Rotten Corpse, Gunfox61, our Discord administrator extraordinaire. Also, good morning to Attack Alpaca, Special Can Acid, Aaron Meredith is in the house. Fight for Your Rights. Nobody Not Me is here. Good morning. Good morning, Kay Shull, Avocados Diablo, the Devil's Advocate. The Asian Research Directorate is here. Good morning, Jesse Leon, DI Freighter Watcher, and that's probably everyone who's gotten the notification so far. I'm sure some of you will figure it out, and we'll be watching people come in fast and furious. Oh, Jesse Leon.
You're lying.
Whoa, wrong one.
That's right.
What's that one? Because he says that's right. Anyway, happy Turducken Day. Oh, apparently it's is it Canadian Thanksgiving? Did Trudeau resign? Because that's about the only thing I would be thankful for in Canada right now, except for, you know, the great people who we love up there. Yeah, I don't know about that. It's also, is today, let me check my calendar here. I'm not 100% sure. Is today like a federal holiday or something? It's like Columbus Day or something. Let me check my calendar. Which, you know, some people get a little, oh yes, it is Columbus Day, or to some of those people who hate Christopher Columbus and what he accomplished. Indigenous Peoples Day. I prefer Columbus Day because I think Indigenous people should get their own day. Although, really, in this country, there's no such thing. Well, I'm an indigenous person. I was born here, raised here, lived here on this land. And there are no indigenous people because everyone who's here either came over a land bridge at one point or, you know, was born here long after that happened. But, you know, I don't know. I don't know. Oh, good question. Do Canadians eat turkey for Thanksgiving, or do they eat poutine? I got to be careful how I say that. Poutine. That's a good question. That's a very good question. I have no idea. More volume for me, or what? Am I a little quiet today? See, thing is, my mother's upstairs sleeping, so I'm closer to the mic. I am. I think you're just gonna have to turn it up a little bit. I'm trying here. I don't know. Anyway, all right. So first thing I want to do before I get into this, I would like to play a video for you that it's a TikTok video, but this is not one that will make you cringe. At least I hope not. I think this one's pretty good, and it's fascinating because Well, let's just watch. Here we go, and we'll see what y'all think here.
The groups that have been exempted from getting the vaccines.
Oh, you mean not everybody has to get them? I thought everyone in a company of over 100 people have to get them. Let's listen to the groups that have been exempted from getting the juice, the maple juice. I saw maple glaze, turkey with maple glaze. Are you kidding me? That would be gross. Well, maybe not. It could be good, but I just have no idea. Anyway, the people who've been exempted from getting the vaccine.
All of Congress.
What? Wait a minute. Congress is exempt? Is that true? Does anybody know if that's a fact? Let's keep going.
Plus all the congressional staff, House and the Senate. That's a lot of people.
Congressional staff in the House and Senate. So 435. Is that right? 435 plus 100 senators plus all their staff. Interesting.
6,000 White House employees, all exempted. 2,000.
White House employees are exempt. What if they get Joe Biden sick? What if they get Joe Biden sick?
500 Pfizer employees exempted. 1,500.
Wait a minute. Why are the Pfizer employees exempted? Wouldn't they have to? Why would they be exempt? Is that true? Anybody know if this is true?
Moderna employees and 120,000 Johnson & Johnson employees, all exempted. 15,000.
Pfizer, Moderna, and Johnson & Johnson employees. I wonder if that's true. Good morning, Will at Forge. How you doing, Will? Good to see you. Interesting.
From CDC, 14,000 FDA employees exempted. 8 million Chinese.
Wait a minute. Did he say CDC? Why would the CDC employ?
Exempted. 8 million.
Wait, let's go.
14,000 FDA employees exempted. 8 million Chinese students in this country. 8 million. How many of them are PLA, CCP? 85.
Wait, there's 8. Wait, first of all, wait a minute. How could there be 8 million Chinese students in the United States right now? I have to do one of these. Maybe not. It didn't work. What the hell? I am not happy with this system. Try this again. Huh. Well, anyway, extra doubt. Are there 8 million Chinese students in the United States right now? Anybody know? Somebody want to look that up?
90%. That's how many. I can tell you that. Exempted. Here's another one. 2 million illegal invaders.
No, he said invaders. We do know that the illegal aliens, the people crossing the border, the people who've been coming across the border since the Biden administration came on board, they're not required to have the juice. Did you know that? They're not required. They just let them in. In fact, even they're not even required to quarantine if they catch them and they're not quarantining everybody who comes in and they find out has the stupid, right? They don't have, even if they have the 19, they're not being quarantined, and they're not forcing them to have the juice. They're not. You would think that the part of the processing process would be to give them the juice, right? Nope, no juice for illegals. Anyway, that's okay. Pfizer make a profit without stabbing them.
Exempted. They don't have to get the shot. Now, what is going on here? Now, let me throw another one in. This is going to be the cherry on top. At least 500,000 homeless tent and street people are exempted. So they...
So I'm not sure about that. Well, it's not that they're exempt. It's there's no way to keep track of them. So how would you even know if they were getting the juice? For a lot of homeless people, it'd be really hard to track. Anyway, now I was thinking about this over the weekend. By the way, real quick, let me thank a couple people here. If my Twitter ever works here. Thank you so much, Mitch the Ripper, Will at Forge, Nobody Not Me for retweeting the show this morning. Also, Sound and Bull Nation. doing that thing, like putting it out yourself. I appreciate that too. Anybody, if you all could share the stream, that's always a good thing. It helps a lot. Okay, so I got thinking about this over the weekend because I saw a video by some pilot that was in theory a Southwest Airlines pilot. We're going to talk a little bit about Southwest Airlines in a minute here. And I was thinking, okay, 8 million if you count American-born Chinese kids, probably. But if he means students studying here from abroad, I doubt it. Yeah, I'm doubt. That's a big old X to doubt. Which, oh, there we go. There's my X to doubt. I'm skeptical about that. But the fact that they are, just that they're exempt at all is kind of weird. So I was thinking over the weekend, after I saw this video by this pilot, and I don't know if he was he was an American Airlines pilot, and he was talking about how, they're forcing him to get the jab, and he's worried about side effects and if it'll affect his ability to fly and have a living, and if they're going to fire him and whatnot. And I was thinking, we hear about a lot of the most sensational cases of people who have met their demise from this, right? And, because, and then I'd like to talk about the 700,000 over the last, 18 months or whatever. We've been dealing with this stupid 19. And I got to thinking, who just happens to be one of the heroes. I'm a hero in a couple different ways because I was, I was making sure your packages came, that when you couldn't go out and to go to the mall, I was making sure that your Amazon packages got onto trucks and went to the right destination so you would get your packages so you could have your life at home. And then also I was delivering food, and we never stopped. Neither of my two of my two part-time gigs ever stopped working. Never stopped. In fact, we, early on, there was no mask mandates, even though eventually they said, they recommended you wearing masks, but they didn't, it was, we don't work too closely together, so we didn't have to that much. But we're heroes, right? They're heroes. The nurses, the people who deliver food, the people who work in grocery stores, they're all heroes, right? And somewhere along the line here, they've decided that your qualification to be a hero is limited to those who would automatically just do what they're told and take the juice, right? And and like I said, I've said this more than once. I am absolutely pro-vaccine when it comes to all the childhood vaccines that my kids had. We make sure they were vaccinated for everything they were supposed to be vaccinated for. But I'm still skeptical of this one particular one, in particular of the fact that since I am, the thought I had, and I'll move on from this, was that I am one of millions and millions millions of survivors in the United States, according to Worldometer, and I'm just looking on here. So there are, I'll even show you the page here. There were 45,204,373 recorded cases in the United States. They're listing 733,575 deaths. 34,664,963 recoveries. And that's recovered or discharged. Now, what's interesting, that would mean you'd have more than 10 million active cases. But when they show active cases, they say there's 9,805,035 active cases. So I'm among the 34,664,963 COVID survivors. Do you ever hear that number? Do you ever hear the numbers of the recovered? Do you ever hear that and now that says it's 98% recovered and discharged. Now, here's the other part of that. So we know that there are a lot of people who may have been asymptomatic, right? And they're estimating that up to half the country may have had this. Some, the days are questionable, but if that's the case, because, a lot of people probably were so asymptomatic that they never did anything about it. They never even thought to even get tested, I'm guessing, because the symptoms would have been of that of a mild cold, possibly. Like my symptoms, the only reason I even thought of that I might have it is because I lost my sense of taste and smell. And the day I lost my sense of taste and smell, I'm like, oh, time to go get tested. And I went and got tested. And I had one day where I had a high fever, about 103, one day out of the 2 weeks that you were required to stay home if you tested positive. In fact, you had to stay once if you were tested in Minnesota. You had to be tested. You had to quarantine until you got the results of your test, and then based on the results of your test, you keep going, right? And you go either if you test positive, then you have to quarantine for 2 weeks from the date you started quarantine. So they gave you the 3 days it took to get the test back. And if you tested positive, then you could go back to work or whatever you were doing, or go back to being a hero at the time I got it, because I was still a hero at the time. And but I am one of those 34,664,963 who have recovered from COVID. It's not a number they like to talk about. And they also don't like to talk about, how many of those people. Well, guess what? I had a mild case, and there's multiple studies that says that, your immunity from that is probably long lasting, and in fact, it probably protects you more from the variants than it does than any of the Fauci juices, right? But that's a lot of people who've recovered. Yes, you got 730,000 people who've died. 34,664,963 are officially recovered, with about 9 million others who apparently are active cases probably recovered. If let's say that, because remember, depending on their ages too, you could get up to, 90? Well, in my age group, it's 99.0097, I believe, because I'm under 60. 99.0097% recovered, did not die. Okay. And then you get and you get younger and younger. You start adding zeros before that 9%. So why is it nobody talks about those people? And I'm telling you, if it says 45 million people, 45,204,373 cases in the United States reported, and we know that there's a lot of people who are asymptomatic, may not even have known they've had it. Could it be that there's 60, 70, 80 million people who've had it? And just, that extra number of people didn't know it? And all those people have antibodies, but good old Brandon in the White House wants everyone to take the juice, even if they already probably have some of that natural juice flowing through them, the pure bloods. As some of the people are starting to call them the pure bloods. Good morning, Chicago Mike. How you doing? Good morning, Tex AG 007. Ding 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 ding. Do 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 do. Anyway, so I'm thinking about making a video to that effect. What about us survivors? the survivors, the 34 million survivors, the 34 million, and many of us heroes. Are we still heroes if we don't get the juice? Anyway, so speaking of some heroes that might not be taking this too well, good morning, Data Wasteland. How you doing? Some of the heroes, as you know, this weekend, Southwest Airlines, this is the big news. Their shares are tumbling because they had a mass of flight cancellations over the weekend. And they're looking at cutting some more. In fact, today, another 600 flights so far been canceled. So they canceled more than 2,000 flights since Saturday. The airline blamed. Now it's funny because the airline blamed air traffic control issues, bad weather, and its own staffing shortage. Well, I'm gonna guess that a vast majority of it was the latter of the three. Aw, thank you, Special K. I'm your hero. Oh, I'm so verklempt. By the way, I do have my cup of reparations with me today. It's Big Daddy Day. Went with the dark roast today, and it's quite delicious. Anyway, the airline blamed air traffic control, bad weather, and its own staffing. Now, the bad weather one is the one that cracks me up, because originally this started in Jacksonville, Florida, right? And it progressed on and on, down the whole pike of Southwest Airlines pilots, and the only problem with that excuse, no other airlines cancel flights because of bad weather in Jacksonville, Florida, which was hilarious. So I don't know. Thank you so much, Chicago Mike. First sponsor of the day, Chicago Mike.
You are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor
Of the day. Thank you, Chicago Mike, who says, good morning, Marty. Doing well. Thanks for asking. Well, good. I'm glad you are. I hope you had a great weekend. In fact, I hope all of you had a great weekend. And thank you for being a continual sponsor of the show. What is going on in my background there? Is that? Oh, okay. I was looking back there and it's like, that's weird. Okay. So anyway, this has cost Southwest some money in a virtual sense, I would say. Southwest Airlines shares tumbled more than 3% in pre-market trading Monday after canceling more than 2,000 flights since Saturday, disrupting the travel plans of thousands of people. Southwest canceled 347 flights on Monday, that's this morning, down from 1,124 on Sunday, which was 30% of its schedule. 30% of its flight schedule. Now, I'll leave this article in the tabs. We'll have that in there. But and then here's the ABC News where it says Southwest Airlines flight cancellations continue into Monday. Southwest Airlines canceled hundreds of more flights on Monday following a weekend of major service disruptions. According to FlightAware, the carrier canceled 348 flights Monday and delayed at least another 271. The Dallas-based airline had blamed air traffic control issues and weather for its weekend operational challenge that saw over 1,000 canceled flights on Sunday alone. Southwest Airlines was the only airline to report issues on that scale. So, you mean it wasn't the weather? Good morning, Gun Fox. How you doing? I already said good morning, Gun Fox, but I'll say good morning again. Southwest was the only airline to report issues on that scale. On that scale, is this ABC News trying to kind of soften the blow here? What do you mean on that scale? That's how much was it? Like 40% of their flights were canceled. 40% of their flights were canceled. No other airline canceled more than 2% of its flights. Now, here, Southwest has struggled all summer with high numbers of delayed and canceled flights. Again, this is a very significant number of flights over a weekend. And now the ABC continues trying to make it sound like this is just normal. Nothing to see here. Southwest has struggled all summer with a high number of delayed and canceled flights. In August, it announced it was trimming its September schedule by 27 flights a day. 1,000 flights in one day versus 27, or less than 1%, and 162 flights a day, or 4.5% of the schedule from early October through November 5th. Last week, Southwest became the latest airline to announce it was imposing a vaccine mandate on its staff. Wait a minute. The plot thickens. So here's what the scoop is. And I think, at least this is I'm getting this, again, this is Twitter people talking and some people online. Ben Shapiro, get the hell off my screen. So here's the thing. You know the thing?
You know the thing.
Is there a sick out over a vaccine mandate at Southwest Airlines? If you're just hearing about this now, you're not alone. There's apparently a meltdown at Jacksonville International Airport that has led to the cancellation of more than 1,800 Southwest Airlines flights. The company says cancellation is due to the weather and air traffic control issues. Well, the claim the weather is the culprit is absurd. Other airlines, according to respected aviation site 1 Mile at a Time, are operating at near capacity. On Saturday, American canceled 66 flights, 2% of the schedule. Delta canceled 16 flights, less than 1% of the schedule. United canceled 11 flights, less than 1% of the schedule. On Sunday, American canceled 63 flights, 2% of the schedule. Delta canceled 3 flights, less than 1% of the schedule. And United canceled 6 flights, less than 1% of the schedule. And that kind of goes on. Now, Southwest on Saturday canceled 808 flights, 24% of the schedule, and delayed 1,154 flights, another 35% of the schedule. So 59% of their scheduled was either canceled or delayed on Saturday. On Sunday, it canceled 1,007 flights and delayed 120 flights. So that's only 30% of the schedule, but 27% of that was canceled. Now, here's the speculation, and it's set on air. Now, the speculation is set on air traffic control employees walking out because of the vaccine mandate. Now, but that may not be the case, okay? Because it wasn't just Jacksonville. But anyway, 600, that was in Jacksonville, 650 flights. If it was air traffic controllers, wouldn't that affect all the airlines? No, here's the problem. Southwest Pilots Union recently filed suit against the airline's vaccine mandate. It seems there could be something further going on. It's my understanding that a huge number of Southwest pilots have called in sick this weekend, much more than usual. It's anyone's guess what the cause of that is, but it follows the Southwest Airline Pilots Association on Friday asking a court to block the airline from requiring a vaccination in anticipation for an upcoming federal mandate. Or SWAPA, the Southwest Airlines Pilots Association, had already filed a lawsuit against Southwest claiming that the airline was violating labor laws. The union now doesn't want the airline to be able to require the juice in line with the expected federal mandate until existing issues are resolved. The union claims the airline is taking unilateral action that violates the Railway Labor Act, including required juice, which is supposed to govern relations between airlines and unions. Given the timing here, I have a hard time imagining that it's a total coincidence that so many pilots are calling in sick this weekend. Here's the other thing about that. You know, the pilots, the ones who are anticipating maybe being let go because of their lack of juice, this is the time that they would need to start using up their sick time because they accumulate sick time. Interesting that they're all doing it right now when there's a mandate coming in 2-3 weeks from now that they're supposed to be juiced up. Well, they're using up their sick time, guys. Thank you, Gunfox61, for sponsoring the show. Appreciate you here. Who says, wait, get ready for it. Housing bubble about to pop in China, plus a major power outages and docks affected by chaos. While in America there are not enough truck drivers to meet normal demand, but at the moment people are buy over 500% than pre-COVID. Oh, you're talking about buying stuff. Oh yeah, there's a as far as the dock shortage, I think you mean a lot of the shipyards and whatnot are backed up like crazy on the coast where they're trying to, get product into the country, and they just don't have enough people to load docks and move dock stuff fast enough. And it's causing it's going to cause a supply chain problem. Stock up on your dry goods. I'm just saying. And, you don't have to be crazy. Like, you don't have to have, 400 rolls of toilet paper, but maybe 200. I don't know. Anyway, thank you, GunFox61, for sponsoring the show. I appreciate you. So anyway, the sick out at Southwest is made infinitely worse because airports and airlines have yet to recover from pandemic-related labor shortages. Flight attendants and pilots are especially in short supply, and even a few dozen pilots calling in sick could cause all kinds of problems in staffing. The further issue with the airline industry is the domino effect when it comes to irregular operations. Airline operations are incredibly complex, and when a plane is a problem in one place, it can have huge issues down the line. And that's what we're seeing here. Now, it's funny because I know somebody who got stuck in Florida because her Southwest flight was canceled. And she's just like, I have no idea what to do. I'm supposed to be somewhere else doing a speech somewhere, and I can't do it because I'm stuck here in Florida. Although, she could rent a car and whatever. But Southwest has been putting some people up in hotels, whatever. But anyway, Avocado Stably says if they really wanted to send a message, they would just go on strike mid-flight, just depressurize the cabin and drop to a safe altitude and just parachute off the plane. Oh, damn. That would be something now, wouldn't it? Thank you, Avocado Stably. That is funny. All right. Anyway. All right. So I'm going to stick with the stupid 19 stuff for now, just because it's Monday and there's so much stupid news that I could probably spend a whole day just strictly on stupid news. And so we're going to do that for now. And if I get through what I have open, then I'll open some more stuff. But right now, here we go. So anyway, she's a lovely young lady. Anyway, so apparently this is not the only thing. It's not the only industry or group of people who are taking a stand. Apparently, elite military unit risk mass exodus over juice mandate, retired member says. One of the most exclusive units of the United States Armed Forces is at risk of facing a mass exodus over the Department of Homeland Security's juice mandate, a recently retired member told the Daily Caller. At least 60 of the Coast Guard's 340 elite aviation survival technicians, better known as helicopter rescue swimmers, are seeking exemptions from the juice mandate, retired rescue swimmer David Kroll told the Daily Caller in an exclusive interview. The Coast Guard is already short on rescue swimmers, Kroll said, and the loss of dozens more would threaten the effectiveness and stability of the force. Kroll, a 24-year veteran of the Coast Guard who served as a rescue swimmer and trained them at Coast Guard's A School in North Carolina before retiring in July, said the Coast Guard is already at least 20 to 30 swimmers short of where it would like to be, and ideally would have about 380 active swimmers. Additionally, there are at least 30 of the Coast Guard's 800 rescue pilots who are seeking exemptions. Most have submitted their accommodations and are waiting for an answer, but the information that we're receiving has been varied, as has been the timeline, Kroll said. The response to, in regards to religious accommodations, has been varied as well. Some have heard that they may have a good chance. Others have heard that it will be no's across the board. 2 active swimmers who are seeking an exemption confirmed Kroll's estimate that at least 60 swimmers who wish to avoid juice, virtually all for religious exemptions. Many active service members are being told they will not receive a medical exemption unless they've had an adverse reaction to another juice in the past. Multiple individuals have told the Daily Callers. This is not an unusual situation in the military right now either. There's a whole bunch of people. It's funny because the Biden administration is taking a hard line on this, and they're threatening to give dishonorable discharges to people who refuse the juice. I mean, I don't think if you're not familiar with the military, that's really bad. That's not a good thing to have on any kind of record whatsoever. And they're really just going all out on this nonsense. But it's funny because as I read that, we watched the video at the beginning of the show today, and I don't know how many of those exemptions are, in fact, if they're all true, whatever, it's a TikTok video, but I know that the members of Congress aren't required to have the juice. And Biden said, he's directed at all federal employees, blah, blah, blah. But there's a big old list of exceptions of federal employees too. And it's like, well, why would your federal employees have these exemptions? I just, are they so important and more important than me, a hero? Remember the heroes like me? So I don't know. Fortunately, I haven't had anyone yet. I'm sure it's coming, but at either of my part-time endeavors warned me that I would be forced to have the jab. And, I'm not even never say never, but I'm not, for example, Lady Boomer had to have the jab to keep her job. And so she got it early on, but she's a little more trusting of this juice than I am. And I don't know why. Although now we're learning more, the more we learn about it, the more we figure out that it's more like a temporary prophylactic than an actual vaccine, because the numbers of people who are double dosed and still getting it are pretty high. In fact, in some places, it's the vast majority of the people who are sick are also double dosed. So it's weird. Vermont, we saw the numbers in Vermont the other day. Just makes you wonder. Ooh, it makes me wonder. Anyway, so now Biden announced in September that all federal employees would have to be vaccinated after the Food and Drug Administration approved Pfizer's stupid 19 juice. The Pentagon did not respond to a request for comment on why natural immunity is not being considered in medical accommodations for troops. How many service members are seeking exemptions for what disciplinary actions will be pursued against individuals who do not comply with a lawful order to be juiced? Is it a lawful order? I guess so. Pentagon Press Secretary John Kirby suggested in August that troops who do not want to get the juice may require counseling and further education. You will comply. You will go to re-education. If you do not want to get the juice, you may require counseling and education. Good morning, Alone, a.k.a. Always Lost and Nothing Else, and Renee Mayette and TC. Good morning. How you doing? You will comply and you will be educated properly to accept the juice. And you will take the juice and you will enjoy the juice because it's the best juice ever and you will like it. Now, other heroes who are considering perhaps not getting the juice. Good morning, Cigar Chomping Penguin. Juice camp, exactly. We're going to have a juice camp. Who's that guy in Guyana? That wasn't Koresh. That was Wake. Oh, Jim Jones. Yes, you will go to juice camp and you will have the juice. Amateur prophylactics. We're like, well, now we're finding out too. So, they say, oh, it has. It's funny because Twitter is so funny about this because they have all these little things. It is safe and effective. Well, safe and effective is an interesting term. Safe and effective for the first, after 2 weeks and maybe for another 30 days. But apparently now they're figuring out that even the one that is approved by the FDA, Pfizer, only has a 50% efficacy after 6 months. That does not sound like a vaccine to me. It sounds like, well, like I said, an amateur prophylactic. It's kind of like that. An amateur phylactic. Oh yes, it sounds like an amateur phylactic as opposed to a prophylactic. And oh boy, it's crazy. Thank you, Gun Fox 61, for sponsoring the show again. Who says dishonorable discharge was disqualify them for any federal job, veteran affairs, care, and other military benefits. So that's significant. Yeah, that is very significant, especially their federal benefits, their military benefits, their any retirement they've earned, their use of the VA for medical, for medical and other benefits. Not good. Just for not wanting the juice that is still, even though they say it's FDA approved now. Well, kind of that FDA approval, how that was kind of. Yeah, they had some arm twisting going on and shit there at the FDA, and that all of a sudden it's just, the Pfizer one's approved, and they still haven't done the Moderna and the Johnson & Johnson yet, but they're still having people. It has to be one of those juices. So does it have to be now? So that makes me question: does it have to be the Pfizer juice? I'm curious if they're requiring you to get the juice. Can they only require you to get the Pfizer, or can they require you to get any? Or do the other two non-FDA approved juices that are just there that are still authorized use, emergency authorization, are those two going to be, will they allow you to just take one of those and then you'll be within the juice mandate? Because only one of them is FDA approved. It's crazy. Anyway, thank you, GunFox61, again for sponsoring the show. I appreciate you. LA County Sheriff says no to force politicized jabs for cops. Los Angeles County Sheriff Alex Villanova says he doesn't want to lose 10% of his cops by forcing them to choose between their jobs and bodily freedom, so he won't make them. This is the latest example of a growing number of police agencies opting to keep their cops instead of enforcing an arguably unconstitutional order requiring officers to get a COVID shot. Villanova announced on Friday he would disregard the LA County Health Department's directive to force his deputies to get the shot by October 1st because he doesn't want to be in a position to lose 5 to 10% of his workforce overnight on a juice mandate. He later said on Fox News, the Ingram Angle, that the poorly thought out, poorly executed mandate was so politicized that I cannot go in good conscience impose a mandate like that. Oh my gosh. We love this guy. Good morning, Cindy Rochelle. How you doing? And Hig, if you're in the background, good morning to you too. Nice to see you. Nice to see your name on the list again. By the way, did you know you were on a list? Anyway, so here's Villanova on the
Are
show.
you forcing your officers to get the vaccine? As I said, no, I'm not forcing anyone. The issue has become so politicized. There are entire groups of employees that are willing to be fired and laid off rather than get vaccinated. So I don't want to be in a position to lose 5-10% of my workforce overnight on a vaccine mandate, while at the same time our bare bones with the funding effort. So this is like the worst of two worlds right here. So we have to pick and choose. All right.
Thank you, Sheriff Villanova. Wait, there we go. Trying to close that. Anyway, the elected sheriff oversees the nation's largest sheriff's department with more than 18,000 deputies. So imagine losing 5% of that workforce, losing 900. No, not 900. 10% would be 1,800. Yeah, 900. He could lose up to 900 people on a force that's they're already working pretty thin. He joined Riverside County Sheriff Chad Bianco, who in September announced that the government has no ability and no authority to mandate your health choices, and I will not enforce the juice mandate on Sheriff Department employees. Congratulations to him too. He said he took seriously his job at the last line of defense from tyrannical government overreach. Good for him. In 2020, those same two sheriffs refused to enforce Governor Gavin Newsom's stay-at-home order. Yeah, we like these guys. I don't know. Now, let's see. I'm looking down here. Washington's, okay. But elsewhere, law enforcement officers and other state employees seem to be on their own in fighting state shot mandates. Washington State's fire marshal is set to lose his job because he refused to get a jab due to having a pre-existing condition. So listen to this. This is his quote. I'm following my doctor's recommendation, which is to not get the juice. Contrary to popular belief, there's a percentage of people in our population who simply cannot get it, and they're going to fire him anyway. Fire Marshal Charles LeBlanc told King 5 News that he was given a medical exemption and the request was accepted, but I cannot be accommodated. So the request was accepted, but I can't be accommodated? He's among several state employees suing the state. He's been with the department for 33 years. Oh my God. Also, hundreds of ferry workers, Seattle cops, and other law enforcers and firefighters are expected to walk off the job before the October 18th deadline in defiance of the mandate. In Oregon, state troopers are legally fighting a juice mandate. They just launched around in court seeking a temporary injunction to stop the mandate. The retired state Supreme Court justice overseeing the case actually said the temporary emergency diktats include, quote, the authority to enact public health laws that may have the effect of curtailing individual rights. What's most shocking about these law enforcers taking a stand is how few of them there are. Well, I think you'll see more and more of it. I don't know. I think as you start seeing some of these departments and some of these employees unions in different places acting out as the Southwest pilots did, as this sheriff did, you'll see more people. I think you'll see more people get into the idea that maybe, just maybe, this shit needs to stop. So at least you hope so. So anyway, let's move on here. Let's see. Oh, this is fascinating too, and we're gonna stay in some COVID news here. They can't fire us all that stand up to their tyranny, right? I agree. I agree completely. Anyway, this is interesting too. Notice where the this is a good article in Issues and Insights. Now, like I said, by the way, as you know, if you don't know, if you're new or have been gone for a while or whatever, and you're just getting back, all the articles that I read or reference or whatever will be in the description below this video at the end of the video, or at the end of the stream. So during the outro, I will update the link that will have all of these articles that I reference. You can check them out yourselves and enjoy them at your leisure. And if you want to get more details and the stuff that I don't get into. But anyway, this was an interesting article in Issues and Insight. Anyone notice where the COVID rates are climbing these days? Hint, not in Texas or Florida. So there's a big hoop to do about the surge of cases in Florida and Texas, which surprisingly have dropped off like a rock. And so the new cases in those two states are again down to levels that make a little more, more comparable, whatever. And so here's a great article about that. Good morning, El Gringo. Welcome, Pure Blood Gang. Nice. By the El Gringo, I don't know if you're already subscribed. If you're not, click that bell. Anyone who's here is not subscribed. Click the subscribe button. Click the bell so you get notifications. And also, good morning to our friend from Down Under, El Richo. So, El Gringo, El Richo, welcome to the show. So much for President Biden's attacks on Republican states such as Texas and Florida for threatening their citizens by not kowtowing to his dictates on masks and Fauci juice. As we noted weeks ago, and the mainstream press has only now begun to acknowledge, new cases of stupid peaked at the beginning of September and have been on the downtrend ever since. Cases are falling in Texas and in Florida and other states that dared to pull their residents' freedom, or put their residents' freedom above Biden's dictates. But while the national trend is downward, stupid 19 cases are rising in a handful of states. And what the mainstream press definitely won't tell you is what these states have in common. Almost every one of them is run by, guess, Democrats. Ding! And they also have high juice usage rates, aka Fauci juice. The John Hopkins Stupid 19 tracker displays each state in shades of either green or red, with green indicating a downward trend and red an upswing. The darker the shade, the bigger the change in either direction. Well, take a look at the current display shown above. See up here? Look at these. These are green states. Oh my goodness, look at this. Texas, green. Florida is in dark green. They're really going down. But wait a minute. Where are the states that are not green? Minnesota. Oh my gosh. I live in Minnesota. Uh-oh. Wisconsin. Like Minnesota, they're up crazy. I don't know why. Maybe because we had Oktoberfest. I don't know. Wisconsin, New Hampshire, Rhode Island, Colorado, New Mexico. Well, Nebraska, sort of. Nebraska, too, is light there. But anyway. So here we go. Look at the current display shown above. The 13 states that are showing increases right now are California, Washington, Nevada, Utah, Colorado, New Mexico, Nebraska, Maine, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Illinois, New Hampshire, and Rhode Island. Except for a few, these are reliably Democratic states. Yes, they are. There's something else worth noting. 9 of the 13 states have juice rates higher, and in some cases much higher than the national average of 56%. Was Vermont on that list? It was not. Okay, but we do know that 72% of their stupid 19 endings last month were people who were fully juiced, double dosed, or whatever you say. Anyway, in Washington, 62% are fully juiced. In California, 59% are. In Colorado, it's 60%. In New Mexico, 64%. The numbers are 58% in Minnesota, 57% in Wisconsin, and Rhode Island and Maine, 69%. Winner! And New Hampshire, it's 62%. What to make of this? Nothing really, except that the problem with this outbreak isn't misinformation that Facebook and Twitter and YouTube are trying to censor, such as anyone saying the vaccines might not be as effective as advertised. Ooh, did I use that terminology? That kids are being harmed by public health Nazis, that stupid 19 risks are concentrated almost entirely among the very old and very ill. That is true. No, the real problem is the politically driven misinformation that Biden and others on the left are peddling, and that the tech giants are all too happy to allow to spread across their social networks. Namely, that this pandemic of the unvaccinated, they like to say, that intrusive and divisive juice mandate are needed, that Republican governors are killing their people by not being more authoritarian. Well, Florida is like greedy green. Isn't that, who's the governor there? Isn't that good old Ron DeSantis, or what do they call him in lefty media circles? Ron Death Santis? Huh. Look at that. There, the dark green. There's it going down. I'm going down to Alphabet Street. I'm going down. Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to break out the Prince songs. Namely, the disease, whatever its origins, isn't going away. There will be waves of it in the future. No one has to panic about that or live in a bubble or demand vaccine papers. I need your papers. Or forever stand 6 feet apart from everyone else or wear a mask 24/7. What we really need is for our leaders to stop trying to scare everyone to death and start letting people make their own decisions about their own health. Well, I got to tell you, I concur. In fact, again, I am one of over 34 million people who are survivors of the stupid. Just saying. I'm going to make a video about that. I'm going to make a short video just about that because, I'm one of 34 million survivors. I can't believe there's not more people talking about it. I want people to join me in saying, hey, I'm a survivor. That's what I want. I want people, if you're a survivor, speak up. Speak up. Are you a survivor? I'm a survivor. I think that'll make a great video. Join me in speaking up. Anyway, do not comply is trending. I wonder what that's about. Let me just check this over here on the Twitter bots here. Do not comply. 100,000 troops remain unjuiced with the deadline to juice approaching. Pilots and ATC are refusing to juice and shutting down airlines. Good. No one anywhere should comply with a totalitarian regime. That's this tweet right here. That's Candace Owens. Get off my screen, Candace. Oh, Avi Yemeni's fun facts in Australia. If you tweet hashtag do not apply to encourage others, police may show up in the dead of the night and arrest you and charge you for incitement. That's the reality down under. But it's nice to see it trending overseas where it's still safe to fight for freedom. You know, I've been watching some of his reports from down there because, like, he's allowed to go out and report on some of these, like, police actions against people out protesting where they're beating up people and shit. But he can go out there with a microphone because he's part of a media outlet. And apparently you can go out into those crowds without a mask in public if you have a microphone and you're actually interviewing people as part of your job. So apparently it's not that serious. Terai Deos, nice to see you. How you doing? You're a survivor? Awesome. I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. Somnambule Nation, I'm a survivor. Awesome. Renee Mayan, I'm a survivor of the GAE agenda. Yeah, you know, tell people you're a survivor. Aaron Meredith, I'm a survivor, but at this point, I wish I wasn't. Come on now. It's not that bad. I drank a lot of beer this weekend, so I'm happy that I survived. Anyway, interesting. As vaccine mandates deadlines near, do not comply is trending in the United States. It's about damn time. Hold the line. Here's what I'm shocked about. And there's 35,000 tweets, so it's hard for it. You know, trending can be organic on Twitter at first, but then Twitter will replace it with something that they like. So it's, you know, do not comply, tweeted by people who said George Floyd wouldn't have died if he'd just complied. There's a difference between resisting arrest and resisting tyranny. There's a difference between kicking a cop and not going in, you know, especially the cop that offered you to, you know, that he turned the air conditioner up so he wouldn't be so uncomfortable in the back of the car. And then that cop is the one who is charged with murder. Damani Fielder, proud of every single Southwest Air employee pushing back against medical tyranny. We the people have always had the power to bring the whole system to a halt. Do not comply. It's interesting. This is someone who doesn't like this. I'm done with do not comply crowd. I just stopped trying to convince people. Why argue with an anti-vax when you could just wait? Well, you'd be waiting a long time since 99.98% of people survive. Or no, I'm sorry. It's 99.8 total survival rate. And then it varies a little bit depending on age and obesity status, but 99%. Wait for what? You're gonna be waiting a long time. You're gonna be waiting a really long time. In fact, 34 million people have some form of natural immunity. I don't know how well it works, but certainly not hearing a whole lot about people getting it a second time and dying. Although I've heard a lot of people who are double juiced that have died. Hey, good morning, Legit Low Talker. How you doing? Nice to see you. And also, good morning, Infamous One. Nice to have you here. Yeah, so I'm just finding this funny. No vaccine mandates and do not comply are trending. It's so scary that there are that many people who are that dumb. Maybe they just pay attention and don't listen to the I don't know, propaganda. I don't know. Strange. Oh, this says strange that do not comply would be the #1 trend in the United States while most of North America is asleep. Oh, that's it. It's Putin. Oh, aren't you special? Aren't you special? How about it's trending because the people yesterday were cheering on the Southwest Airline Pilots Association. Could it be trending because of that? I don't know. I'm sure it's Putin. You poor. I'm sorry this is happening to some of you people. Oh, do not comply is trending because the GOP is prosecuting germ warfare against America. If they were Russian instead of just working for Russia, they would say they're in violation of the Geneva Convention. Oh my God. You poor little, just, if you want to be, I just say, if you want to hide in your, foxhole and just cower and be afraid, please be afraid. I'm telling people as one of the 34 million survivors, it just gonna happen. Oh, and then see like this. Oh, this is the sitting morgue with all the MAGA hats. Isn't that cute? Because people in my demographic are probably the least vaccinated demographic around, not MAGA people. The MAGA people are probably 60 as much vaccinated as anyone else in the country. It's hilarious. But they've made this strictly about politics. And it's not that. It's not just politics. You think all those pilots, do you think they're all MAGA people, all the pilots, and all the, the nurses who are being fired? Do you think the ones the heroes, all those heroes, do you think the heroes that are not complying? Do you think the heroes are just do you think they're just no brain? I'm sorry. Anyway. Hey, do not comply, cult. We don't care anymore about what you do. No one is sticking a needle in your arm. Just stay away from us and any public places. Hey, how about you eat the... Never mind. I was going to say something kind of gross, and I'm going to stay away from it. So anyway, I was looking at tweets while I moved on. So more, I guess we're going to stick with this news because I only have a couple more articles. But anyway, so apparently Fauci says... Now, it's interesting because we were talking about the airlines, and I got two different articles where Fauci says he doesn't anticipate vaccine mandates for domestic flights immediately. Now, I just realized that this is a... this is Epic Times. We'll put that in there, and I'll go to the Daily Caller or Daily Wire version. So, on Sunday, Dr. Anthony Fauci... Chief Medical Advisor to the President, appeared on CNN's State of the Union with Dana Bash. During the segment, Bash asked Fauci, I almost went hood there. He asked Fauci about the possibility of stupid 19 juice mandate for domestic air travel. Oh my God, can you see the riots at airports? So you mentioned the holidays, Thanksgiving and Christmas. It's hard to believe it. They're just around the corner. Why, Dana? They come every year at the same time. Don't you realize that it's the calendar's 365 days and those two are the same time? The fourth Thursday and December 25th. You cannot miss them coming from a mile away or even 2 years away. You know what it's going to be? It's going to be 2 years from now. You know what it's going to be 10 years from now. How could it be just... can you believe it? They're just around the corner. Yes, I can believe it because they're on the calendar at the same time every year, Dana. Okay, enough of that. Canada just imposed a juice mandate for eligible travelers on airplane. Fuck you, Mr. Trudeau. Former President Obama's Secretary of Transportation, Ray LaHood, says that the White House should push airlines to mandate juice or mandate them itself. So would you like a juice mandate for air travel in effect for the holidays? Can you imagine the riots around the country? It would be awful. after noting that non-citizens entering the U.S. from other countries should be vaccinated and tested. Oh, should they now? Really? Are they going to go down on the border there in Del Rio, Texas, when the next 60,000 Haitians come in and make sure they're all vaccinated? I bet they don't have green. I bet they don't. They don't. Not only do they not have green cards, they don't have vaccination cards. But I bet you're gonna like not want to check their ID if they try to vote, right? Anyway. Noting that non-citizens in the United States from other countries should be juiced and tested. And also praising President Biden's doubling of fines for unmasked airplane travelers. Fauci replied, on the table is the issue of mandates for vaccine. It's always discussable. We always wind up discussing it, he stated. Bash then asked Fauci if he supported such a mandate, to which Fauci responded, right now, I don't see that immediately. Yeah, because he'd be tarred and feathered. Here's Fauci.
Dr. Fauci, more than 3 in 4 eligible Americans have now gotten a vaccine.
Oh, that is...
For the first time in more than 2 months, the U.S. is reporting fewer than 100,000.
You know what the other problem in this is? I had a little skirmish with someone on Twitter the other day talking about this. And they're like, oh, if you're on a plane and they recycle the air and da-da-da-da-da. You know, airplanes have the same air filtration system as most operating rooms. It is the most filtrated air that you would ever be in anywhere. Okay. It's like, we're talking like super HEP or whatever they'd call it, but the cleanest air you're ever going to breathe is going to be on an airplane. Let me just say that. Anyway, here's Dana Bush.
1,000 daily cases. So are we at a new hopeful moment in the pandemic?
Okay, so she's so excited that we're 75% vaccinated. Possibly, but that's not even true. It's not even close to true. Okay, now maybe 75% of people may have had their first jab, right? But as a nation, I think we're at 56% fully jabbed. And as we saw from the state of Vermont last month, deaths from the 19, 72% of them were people who were fully vaccinated. Oops, I said that word again. Fully jabbed, full juice, double dose, double juiced. 72% of the deaths in Vermont, double juiced. Vaccination rate, 69% in Vermont. Oh, no, maybe it was 82%. It might have been 82%. But still. Oh, yeah, just irritating.
Well, Danner, it's certainly going in the right direction. As you mentioned, the 7-day average of cases is below 100,000. It's about 95.
Remember, this is the guy who said that, well, let's just say he fucked up the entire AIDS issue when he was in the same position he is now. This is a guy that told you this guy who recommended masks during the AIDS epidemic, like as if it was an airborne disease. Oh, Dr. Anthony Fauci.
5,000. Hospitalizations are down below 10,000, around 7,400. And deaths are down below 2,000. They're now around 1,400. So it's certainly going in the right direction. That's the good news. And hopefully it's going to continue to go in that trajectory downward. But we have to just be careful.
I guess he didn't look at those 13 states where it's going up. But hey, Florida and Texas, they're way down in cases. Way down. Oh, and we were so worried about them a few weeks ago when they were high. But now you don't hear anyone in the media talking about the caseload in Florida and Texas as they're going down. And in fact, Florida's just having that dark green trend. Interesting.
That we don't prematurely declare victory in many respects. We still have around 68 million people who are eligible to be vaccinated that have not yet gotten vaccinated. And even those who have been vaccinated, I mean, you want to look forward to holiday seasons and spending time with your family and doing those sorts of things. But don't just throw your hands up and say it's all over. Because on the one hand, we do want
Nobody's
to
saying that.
celebrate and look forward to the fact that we are going in the right direction. But if you look at the history of the surges and the diminutions in cases over a period of time,
You mean like the surge in Florida, Texas that happened the same time last year, and now they're going down and their cases stayed down lower than most of these other states? No, at least on a per capita basis. Obviously, more people.
they can bounce back. So we don't want to always, be on our edge that it's going to happen, because it won't if we do what we should be doing.
She is demanding Fauci answer that they want airline flying restrictions for passengers. Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. I cannot listen to your constant whining. Just go fuck yourself. Anyway, I wrote that just now. I hope you like that song. Good morning, Streets, Ismail.
Namely, particularly getting more people vaccinated. Another important point, Dana, is that right now the data regarding the safety and the immunogenicity of vaccines in children is going to be coming before the FDA relatively soon.
Why are they doing this? Also the fact that all of a sudden you're seeing teen boys having medical issues just as they're starting to vaccinate the giving the Fauci dues to the teen boys. Hello, Rusty Shaq, and happy Columbus Day to you too. It's amazing that they just aren't talking about it. But you know what? If you go to the CDC, you'll see it.
Mm-hmm. And if they then
follow the science, you find me with science.
Getting vaccinated, then yet you have another segment of the population that can be protected.
Protected from what? My God, does he even read his own statistics about children and the stupid? They barely get it. They don't have viral load. They're not dying from it at any rate anywhere near other people. Get the vulnerable people done. Get the vulnerable people in other countries done. If you want to save the world, get the people who are at most risk throughout the planet. Kids, it's the insanity of this.
So you mentioned the holidays, Thanksgiving and Christmas. It's hard to believe it. They are just around the corner.
No, it's not hard to believe,
Canada
Dana.
just imposed a vaccine mandate for eligible
And
travelers
fuck
on airplanes.
Justin Trudeau.
Former President Obama's Secretary of Transportation, Ray LaHood, says
Here's the
that
part
the
that
White
we're
House
talking about.
should push airlines to mandate vaccines or mandate them.
Why? The most filtered air in the planet is on airplanes.
Itself. So would you like a vaccine
freaking-
mandate for air travel in effect for the holidays?
Well, it depends on what you mean. If you're talking, we do now have a situation when people coming in from outside of the country who are not United States citizens, they really must require that they get vaccinated as well as.
That's what he meant. He didn't mean the ones coming across the southern border. He meant people like coming in from other countries via air travel must be vaccinated. Oh, isn't that cute?
Getting tested before. What the president has done regarding masks, I think, is important, namely doubling the fine on people who refuse to wear masks on airplanes.
Yeah, whatever.
On the table is the issue of mandates for vaccine. It's always discussable. We always wind up discussing it.
Do you support it?
But right
Dana wants that so bad. Do you hear her just pressing him? Do you support it? Listen to her. Look at her face, and she wants to demand that he supports that.
Is the issue of mandates for vaccine. It's always discussable. We always wind up discussing it.
Do you support it?
But right now, I don't see that immediately. Dana, I don't want to say support or not. I think it's a decision that's made by input from a number of parts of the government, including public health. I mean, obviously, from a public health standpoint, the more protection you get, the better it is. But I don't want.
Yes, sacrifice your freedom of movement for safety now. This has got to go to the courts, but I'm not even confident in our fucking courts anymore.
Want to be weighing in because we wind up then having people taking things out of
Hi, Brett
context.
Hayes.
We have everything on the table, and it will be discussed by the medical group.
Dr. Fauci, it has been 263 days since President Biden took office, and the Food and Drug Administration still doesn't have a permanent commissioner, still in the middle of a pandemic. The acting chief can only stay in her post until next month. Don't you think it's important for the FDA to have a permanent Senate-confirmed commissioner?
What? Who cares? Okay, anyway, I'm going to just skip the rest of that. You can watch the rest of that interview once. And it's in the Daily Wire article here. So anyway, here it says discussions regarding vaccine mandates for air travel have been ongoing since late September. Senator Dianne Feinstein introduced legislation that would mandate juice for some domestic flyers. Interesting. Some domestic flyers. You mean like some members of Congress who aren't required? Thank you, Black Hebrew Israelite, for sponsoring the show, as
That's right.
you often do. Who says Dr. Fucker told us that we could get AIDS from a toilet seat. Yeah, that moron.
That's right.
That moron. Anyway, yeah, he's Dr. Fauci. My God, he's told so many falsehoods. I'm surprised. Well, he's not on Twitter, so I think they would ban him from Twitter for all the false information, the misinformation that he fucking, he fucking whatever disseminates. Yeah, the U.S. Air Travel Public Safety Act would require all passengers on domestic airline flights to either be fully juiced or recently tested negative for COVID-19. This is the first time I've seen this. Look at this. I'm going to read this again. We're going to check out the press release from Dianne Feinstein. Oh, my God. U.S. Air Travel Public Safety Act would require all passengers on domestic American or airline flights to be either fully vaccinated or recently having tested negative for stupid-19, or, this is the part that I've never seen them do before, or have fully recovered from stupid-19. Oh my gosh, are they finally making a concession for those of us who are survivors? I'm shocked. That's the first time. I've not seen that in the United States yet. That's the first. I've seen it in other countries, a lot of the European countries. If you've had, like in Spain, everything they say as far as versus either being vaccinated, they include people who are survivors of stupid-19 because they know the natural immunity that you get from having mild cases or whatever recovered cases of stupid-19 works better than the vaccines. So there you go. Hi Foxby2. What fucking idiot thought spraying music videos as ads was a good idea? I have some shittier garbage playing through so PDawg gets maximum ad revenue, but I really wish they'd spam beer ads. Yeah, they need to spam put beer ads on my streams because I love beer. And I really thought spraying music videos as ads. I don't know. I don't know what my ads look like, but you know what? If you know what that ad was for, can you send it to me somehow? I don't know, whatever venue. You can send it to my email, PDawgKnight@gmail.com or through Twitter or whatever. But I'd love to know if you can get a copy of the ad that played, if I can find it. I'm sure those are a lot of times those ads also have YouTube videos associated with them. So I'd love to know what it was. Anyway, let's check out Feinstein's press release right here. This is from Dianne Feinstein. Introduces bill requiring stupid-19 juice negative test or recovery documentation for test. First of all, I don't think you should have any of these. I don't care. I think even having the recovery documentation, I just think it's stupid. Unless they have some evidence that stupid-19 is being spread on airline flights all the time. But at least she included the recovery documentation. Now, I know that I recovered. Senator Dianne Feinstein, California, today introduced the U.S. Air Travel Public Safety Act, a bill that require all passengers on domestic airline flights to be either fully juiced or have recently tested negative for stupid-19 or have fully recovered from stupid-19. The bill would require Secretary of Health and Human Services in consultation with the Federal Aviation Administration to develop a national juice standards and procedures related to stupid-19. You know what's funny about this? Is there any other vaccine required to is there any other vaccine required to get on a flight? You know, do you have to have a polio vaccine to get on a flight? Do you have to have a flu shot to get on a flight? Do you have to have any other vaccine to get on a flight? Read the rest of your super chat. That's all it says. It says Dr. Fucker told us that we could get AIDS from a toilet. You know what? If it didn't all show up, just put it in the chat. I'll read it when I see your name pop up again, because that's all it was. Dr. Fucker told us that we could get AIDS from a toilet seat.
That's right.
And that's right wasn't even there, but that's what I added to it. That's all that was there, Black Hebrew Israelites. So, like, again, type it again in the regular chat. You don't have to give me another super chat to do it. The bill would also require the CDC's advisory committee on immunization practices to make recommendations for stupid 19 juice use in healthcare settings and among healthcare personnel in other settings. I still fuck Dianne Feinstein with this shit, but then it builds on current CDC requirement that all air passengers traveling in the United States from a foreign country must provide proof of negative stupid 19 test result or documentation of recovery for. Oh, so see, now there it is. Isn't that funny? So the CDC requirement for foreign travelers must prove a negative stupid 19 test, documentation of recovery. So they allow foreigners documentation of recovery versus being juiced. And yet the Biden administration is pushing this, you must be juiced. And a lot of these the pilots and a lot of people who are, opposing getting the juice are people who've recovered from stupid 19 and have natural immunity. We're not supposed to say that, but natural immunity. Anyway, she says, we know that air travel during the 2020 holiday season contributed to last winter's devastating stupid 19 surge. We don't know that, Dianne Feinstein. Where the hell did you get that idea? Where's my X'd out? It's not working. X'd out. God damn it. I hate that thing. We don't know that. Holy shit. Ensuring that air travelers protect themselves and their destination communities from this disease is critical to prevent the next surge, particularly if we confront new, more virulent variants of the stupid 19. This bill complements similar travel requirements already in place for all air passengers, including Americans who fly to the United States from foreign countries. These include flights from foreign countries with lower juice 19 rates than many U.S. states. Good God. It only makes sense that we ensure millions of airline passengers that crisscross our country aren't contributing to further transmission. Does anyone not realize yet that this is likely endemic? That this is tilting at windmills. It really is. I'm sorry. It's funny because according to the American Academy of Pediatrics, the United States is seeing its highest weekly totals of pediatric 19 cases since the pandemic began. Are kids dying from it though? Cases mean nothing to me. Okay, cases mean nothing. As a Mayo Clinic study, 19 testing requirements for airline passengers could have a meaningful effect on detecting active infections either immediately before or after a flight. Could have? Really? Is that your standard? It could have. I don't know. Maybe. Kind of, sort of. Let's move on because I got to finish up since it's already my time's up here. But I did want to get to, I wanted to get this one in particular. Sorry, Canadians, he's all yours, and we're glad that you can keep him. I think it's funny, though, that this, it kind of looks like he's getting off of Trump's plane, but I think that probably says Trudeau. I don't know. Why would Trudeau have a plane with his name on it? But anyway, Trudeau bans the unjuiced from travel, leaving the country and earning a living. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announced this week that starting October 30th, any citizen wishing to board a plane, train, or cruise in or out of Canada will be required to show a juice passport, proving they received the juice shot in order to move freely. Nothing tyrannical about that. While the draconian mandate has a temporary clause allowing the alternative of showing proof of a negative juice or 19 test, It is set to expire a month later. Trudeau announced the measure, suggesting that those who took the juice deserve to have their freedom back.
How dare you?
Oh my God. This is about keeping people safe on the job and in our communities, Trudeau declared. If you've done the right thing and gotten vaccinated, you deserve the freedom to be safe from stupid 19, to have your kids safe from stupid, to get back to the things you love. The Canadian Prime Minister's recent announcement is one of the strictest rules implemented thus far, essentially forcing any citizen who does not comply to become an absolute societal outcast. Many have pushed back on the stated mandates and suggest that they are an attack on human dignity. The government is seeking to have 100% of Canadians injected with experimental mRNA juice, which has not been subjected to any long-term testing on humans, stated lawyer John Carpe. Carpe is the president of Canada's Justice Centre, a legal advocacy firm that defends citizens' fundamental freedoms under the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Carpe continued, arguing that the Canadian government's current policies are a violation of human rights, cloaked under the guise of science. She blinded me with science. Governments throughout history have used the notion of science to support their policies, along with various appeals to public health, safety, security, morality, and so on. No government will violate human rights without putting forward a good-sounding justification, such as the war on terrorism, communism, online hate, drugs, or a nasty virus. The lawyer also pointed out that the Canadian government's continued lying on when they would stop violating the rights of their citizens through various draconian stupid 19 mandates, and reminded the public that the experimental juice has thus far proven to be far less effective than promised. We were recently promised this past summer that life would go back to normal once 70% of Canadians were injected with the juice. This high juice rate has been achieved but has not stopped the spread of the virus. The new mRNA juice also provides no guarantee against the Delta variant. True. Canada's promised to return back to normal after 70% of the population receives the experimental juice appears to have fallen flat, with 71% of the citizens having met that goal as of October 2nd, 2021. So there you go. And finally, I wanted to get to this last one, but this is about the Facebook whistleblower, but you can read this. It's just talking about how her Twitter account reveals her marks of sympathy, the fake whistleblower from the fake Twitter whistleblower lady. What's her name? What's her name? The fuck's her name? Frances Haugen. She's full of shit. This woman is a government plant just to try to push more censorship. But if you want to read that article, you can. It'll be in the link tab down below. Anyway, gang, that's it for this lovely Monday. Before you do anything, click the like button before you go, because it helps my self-esteem. I feel so much better when you have many likes. Anyway, thanks all for being here today. You know we're here Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, 1500 GMT for those in the other netherworlds that's not the United States of America. And please share the stream anytime, day or night, before, during, or after the stream. If you're watching on replay, put a comment in the comment section so I know you're here. Okay, here we go. Let me read the rest of Black Hebrew Israelites super chat here. Is this it? Okay. Okay, hang on. Oh, let me get that too. All right, Black Hebrew Israelite. Here's the rest of his super chat that didn't. Apparently, it got. I don't know. It got sent into the ether, but it says, "How does Dr. Fucker still have a job?"
That's right.
Works in government where you're not paid for performance. True.
That's right.
Fire all of them and start over.
That's right.
Yeah, thank you again, Black Hebrew Israelite. Glad I got to finish that one. And thank you to Ride Deos, also sponsoring the show, who says, "I was told non-juiced people are mass biohazard and will kill us all by someone where I was getting vaccinated." Really? yeah, that person doesn't know how this shit works because, the efficacy rate of the juice seems to be falling very quickly the more we find out how many people are still getting the disease. So anyway, hopefully you don't have any side effects from your juice. And if you are getting juiced, I have no problem with that. I think vulnerable people still need to take that precaution, especially if you are in a high-risk group. I think you do need to at least, do that. But, it's funny because a lot of the people in the high-risk groups, they tend to pass on anyway, especially the older that you get. But I still think it's worth a shot to protect yourself if you're in a high risk group. But I think you need to make decisions for yourself if you're not in one of those high risk groups. Anyway, thank you again. Oh, hi Hig, I see you there. Hello and goodbye everyone. Just came in to leave a like. I appreciate you, sir. Also, good morning Woodcutta. I see you came by too, and I think I got all the hellos and goodbyes. So anyway, share, like, and if you want to sponsor the show, you know how. In fact, if you watch the show at PDawgKnight.live, it's up in the right-hand corner. The chat's right there. The videos right here. It's one-stop shopping for the Morning Night Live. But you can watch on YouTube or wherever, too. Anyway, that's it for today, people. Time for me to go. Thanks for being here. My name is PDawgKnight. And I'm out of here. Oh, by the way, Chicago Mike, you are the superstar donor of the day. Appreciate you all. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Hey, this is PDawgKnight, and thank you for watching today on the PDawgKnight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cashapp, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm PDawgKnight, and I'm out of here.